Ever wanted to install Arch Linux but got stuck in the process? Well, don't worry, I've got you. In this video, we will set up a fully working Arch Linux system with i3. So by the end of this video, you will have a clean and optimized system ready to customize. So let's get to it. So the first thing that we need to do is to download our ISO file from Arch Linux. So we go to Google, search for Arch Linux downloads, and we can click here on the first one. If you scroll down, you will see that you can download accordingly with your country, or you can download a worldwide file. So if you click here, you can download this file, the first one. Now, I want to do that because I already have my ISO file on my computer, but go ahead and do that. Now, before we can use this file, we just need to confirm if this file wasn't tampered with. To do that, we just need to go to our terminal. I will change the directories to the downloads directory because I have my file there. Let me verify. Yes, here it is. Now, we use the following command: sha256 sum and then the name of the file, so archlinux.iso. Now we click enter and let's see. Okay, now we just need to compare the output hash with the official checksum provided on the Arch Linux website. So let me just grab this and move it to the right side, and grab this and move it to the left. Okay, so you can click here where it says SHA256 sums. You click on it. Now, as you can see, my sum begins with 45F and ends with 20CD. So if you go here above, you can see that my sum is the same as this one, which means that we can use this file because it's safe, okay? So because it's safe to use this file, we can now create our VM. Now let me just tell you that I will create this machine on VirtualBox, but don't worry because I think the steps are similar on VMware. Now, because we are creating a new VM, we click on New, we give a name like Arch Linux, then the type will be Linux and the version Arch Linux 64-bit. Now we will allocate resources, but before you do that, you just need to know if you have the minimum requirements to run Arch Linux on your computer. So to know that, we can go back to our Arch Linux download page, so let's do that. And here, as you can see, we have the installation guide. So if you click on it, you will have here below the minimum requirements to run Arch Linux. You need to have a 64-bit processor, allocate at least 2 GB of RAM, and allocate at least 2 GB of disk size. Now, because this VM will be used for hacking, we need to allocate extra resources to improve our VM's performance. However, you need to balance it so your host system, your actual computer, still runs smoothly, okay guys? So basically, I would say that you can give to the VM from 25% to 50% of your resources from your host system, your actual computer, and make sure that you never go to the orange zone or the red zone as well, because this can cause problems with your host system. Give a look at your resources and see if you can give, for instance, here on the base memory, 16,384 of megabytes. Now here, see if you can give 4 CPUs, and on your hard disk, see if you can give 150 gigabytes of disk size, okay guys? Now we can click finish. If you want to give a lower size to this VM, or you can't give the same resources that I just gave to mine, see if you can give the following resources. To the base memory, see if you can give 10,322 megabytes, 4 cores, and to your disk size, see if you can give 104.57 gigabytes. Okay guys, so as you saw before, we haven't uploaded the ISO file yet, but we need to do that before we can work with our VM. We can put our VM working. So we go to Arch Linux, we go to settings, then we go to storage, we click on empty, and we click on this small disk. We choose the disk file and we click on the right disk file, the ISO file. Now we go also to the general, we go to advanced, and here you can enable shared clipboard and drag and drop from the host to the guest, or from the guest to the host, or bidirectional. I will choose bidirectional on both, you choose the one that you want. Then we go to display, and here the first thing that we will do is set the video memory to its maximum to ensure smooth performance, especially when using graphical user interface based tools like Burp Suite and Wireshark. Then here below we have enable 3D acceleration option, which can improve graphics performance. However, in some cases it may cause issues, so you can enable this option and test it. Now, if enabling it causes crashes, simply disable it while keeping the video memory at a maximum for a smooth experience. Now, I will check this option, so I will enable 3D acceleration option. However, it won't work on my computer. But I will do it so you can see the errors that I'm having. So I will enable it. As I told you, you also need to have the video memory at its full capacity, like so. And lastly, we will go to System, uncheck floppy, click on hard disk and put it at first, and the optical at second. We do this because floppy drives are outdated and keeping it enabled can slow down the VM during boot or cause errors. Also, setting hard disk first ensures the VM boots from the installed operating system. And optical is kept second in case you need to boot from a live CD or a ISO, but the system will usually boot from the hard disk without issues. We now can click OK to save our changes. Okay guys, now we are ready to install Arch Linux, but as you will see when I try to start my VM, I will have an issue, and this is because I have the 3D acceleration option enabled, as you can see here below display. Now, this can happen to some people, which means that if it doesn't happen to you, then move on with the installation with the video. So, if it happens to you, you just need to go to settings and disable the 3D acceleration option. But I will show you what is the issue that I'm having when I try to start my VM. So let's do it. Start my VM. As you can see, the VM tries to start, but this issue appears here. Now, to solve this, we go to settings, we go to display, and we uncheck the 3D acceleration option. But the video memory will stay at its full capacity, okay guys? Now you just need to click OK and you will see that your VM will start right away. Okay guys, so let's do it. Start our VM. Okay, as you can see, our VM is starting. Now we just choose the first option, like so. We wait a little bit. Okay, the first thing that we will do is check if we have internet connectivity, and we can do this by using the following command. Let's use the ping-c3google.com. Now, this command sends 3 pings to Google, and if we have an internet connection, Google's server will reply. So let's see what happens. As you can see, we sent 3 packets, and if you get an output like this, it means all our packets were received successfully. Each line here represents Google's response to each of our requests. This confirms that we have an internet connection and we are good to go. We will update the system just like we do when installing Kali. However, instead of using the sudo apt update, we use pacman. So let's use it. Pacman, just like this, dash, capital S and Y. Okay guys, so you click enter, and just let me tell you that pacman is the Arch Linux package manager, which is similar to the apt in Kali. The dash S syncs packages, so installs or updates the packets, and the dash Y refreshes the package database by downloading the latest package list from Arch's repositories. Okay, guys? Then we run the following command to update Arch's signing keys, which are essential to verify package authenticity. Okay, so this will prevent signature verification errors when installing or updating packages. So we use pacman once again, like so, dash capital S Y and Arch Linux dash key ring, like so. We click enter, we say yes. Now it's here where the real installation begins. It's here that we will choose a username, a password, a keyboard, language, etc. So let's run Arch install, like so. We click enter and we wait a little bit, okay guys? So if you want to change the language of your PC, you just need to click enter on the first option, so the Arch install language. I will let it as it is. Then we go to locals. Let's go to locals, like so. We click enter and here you can choose the keyboard language. I will choose mine for Portuguese because I'm from Portugal. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Then you can click back after choosing your keyboard language. Now we go to disk configurations, like so. We click on partitioning and we choose use a best effort default partition layout, like so. And we click the only option that we have, that in my case is this one. Then we choose ext4 and here you choose, and we can go back now. Now we can set the password for root, so let's do it. Root password, you click enter and you choose a password, so let's do it. Re-enter the same password, and there it is. Now we create a new user that will be you, so user account, add a user. In my case I will be Sobatista. We give a password, we re-enter that password and say yes to grant your user super user privileges, and then confirm and exit, like so. So next we go to profile, we click on type, desktop, and I will use the i3. And so you know, I will use the i3 because first is super lightweight, meaning it uses very little CPU and RAM, and because of that I can run multiple hacking tools in virtual machines without slowing down my system. Also, I can have my terminal running and map on one side, Burp Suite on another, and my browser open, all organized without needing to resize or move windows manually. Another big advantage is that i3 is keyboard driven, so instead of clicking around, I can use shortcuts to open new terminals, switch between tools instantly, and move windows efficiently. Also, it's highly customizable, so I can set up my own key bindings, tweak the layout, and automate workflows to make my hacking environment more efficient. So give it a try and let me know in the comments how it went, okay guys? However, let me just tell you very quickly that it does take a little time to get used to it, but once you learn its shortcuts and create your own, you will notice a huge improvement in efficiency. So here we click enter, but be free to choose another one, so don't feel pressured in choosing this. I will choose this, but feel free to choose another if you want. Now we choose the graphics driver, the one below the type, like so. We choose VMware/VirtualBox. Now we can go back and on audio, we click enter and we choose the pipe wire. Then we go to additional packages and here we will install 3 tools that need to be separated by spaces so they can be recognized by the system as 3 tools, okay? Let's do it. Additional packages. And the tools that we will install will be sudo git and neofetch. Like so. Okay guys, now you click enter. Okay, so as you can see, our tools are installed, and if you already used Linux-based systems, then you know how the sudo and the git commands are used. Now, neofetch is a simple tool that shows information about your computer in a cool and organized way. So, when you run the neofetch command, it displays details like your operating system, processor, graphics card, RAM usage, and even how long your computer has been running. It also shows a cool logo of your OS next to the info. Now, people use it to quickly check their system specs or just to make their terminal look cool for screenshots. Now we go to network configurations, so let's do it, and we choose use network manager option, like so. Now we go to the time zone and you select yours. And now we select install and click yes. Now we just need to wait a little bit while this installation is being performed. Okay, now here we say yes to chroot, and chroot allows us to enter the newly installed Arch Linux system while still using the live USB environment, and lets us configure, import settings, install packages, and set up the system before rebooting into it, okay? Enter. Okay, now let's run neofetch so you can see it in action. So, neofetch, like so. And here you have it. So you have the OS, your CPU, RAM, etc. And also you have the logo of your OS on the left side. And guys, we are almost there, but now let's install some useful tools with the command pacman -S y, and now the tools that we will install need to be separated by a space. So let's install Firefox, let's install Flatpak and htop, like so. Now let me just tell you that Flatpak is a tool that makes installing and running apps on Linux easier and more secure by keeping them isolated from the system. Htop is a system monitor that lets you check CPU, RAM and processes usage in real time. It's similar to the task manager on Windows, but in the terminal. Okay, now that the installation ended, we exit the chroot environment and we shut down the machine. So, exit and now shut down now, like so. Okay guys, so now that Arch Linux is installed, we need to remove the installation disk from the virtual drive. And this is because if we don't do this, the system might keep booting into the installer instead of starting our newly installed Arch Linux from the hard disk. To remove the installation disk, we go to Settings, we go to Storage, we click here, and in this small disk, you can remove the disk from virtual drive and you click OK. Now we can restart our VM. Let's start it. We will choose the first option and we will log in and make some configurations on i3. Okay guys? So wait a little bit. Login. So now here you can see this message asking if you want to generate a configuration file, and we press enter because we want to generate a configuration file. So this configuration file will allow us to use shortcuts, open terminals and navigate i3. So enter. Then you have here this window that asks you to choose a modifier key, and I recommend you to select the Windows Super key for easier shortcuts. If you want to use the Win, you just need to click enter, but if you want to use the Alt instead, you can use your arrows to select the Alt and click enter. I will choose the Windows key, so enter. And now we are inside of i3 and ready to customize it. Okay guys, the last thing that we will learn is how to shut down your computer. Now, to do this, we will use the mode key that we just chose. So in my case, I chose the Windows key, but if you chose the Alt key, then you need to use that key and at the same time the return key. So by clicking on your mode key, that in my case is the Windows key, plus the return key, you will open your terminal. Now, to shut down your computer, you just need to insert shut down now. And it's done, okay guys? And this is it guys, now you have a fully installed Arch Linux system with i3 ready to go. But this is just the first step, because in the next video we will configure i3, customize it and make it look awesome. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this. See you next time, stay curious, stay safe, and follow along as we build the perfect setup. Bye bye!